friends, thanks for joining me for part 2 of creating the Mermaid journal. So this journal I'm doing a little bit different than what I usually do. I felt so inspired by the materials that I was working with that instead of doing it in order, let's say, you know, pockets and belly bands on one day and then I don't know, tags and whatever in another day. I'm going at this journal a little differently. I am putting in the pockets, but then I noticed that I'm feeling very inspired to go ahead and decorate the pages as we go. Now, it's not full embellishments. What you see in this video isn't going to be the end result, but I'm definitely building in and using more of the embellishments as I go than I sometimes do. I just love creating this journal. So let's get to it.
All right, these papers are cut and they are ready to begin adding the napkins to, and I want to make sure that I do them in the direction that I'll be happy with. Yeah, like this, I don't want to, I don't want to do anything upside down. Okay, this looks good, so I'll just flip these over like this, and now we'll get to work. Now, for some of you that might be new to working with napkins, I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to take the layers off. Always be aware that there might be 2 extra layers, and you must get them all off, otherwise your napkin will end up separating again, and you don't want that on your project. So the first thing you want to do is just grab a piece of regular tape, turn it into 2 pieces of regular tape. One is going to go on the corner on one side, and the other is going to go on the corner on the other side. And then you just want to start to pull that apart. Now, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, that there's going to be another layer on this napkin. So I like to set these aside. So we're going to put that back together. Let me get a fresh spot that doesn't have napkin on it. And then pull, and look, there we go. There's that second layer. And sometimes just by looking at it or feeling it, you can't really tell. And then you'll start to put your project together, and then somehow you'll come to realize that there was that second layer, and then it's like, oh no. So you're better off figuring it out before you really get into your project. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to do that with this one as well. So I have this, and I don't know if we should do it, but you know what, it doesn't hurt me to separate it. It doesn't mean we have to use it just because we separate it, but I could see being able to use this napkin for sure. That is ready. So I was wondering if we should use this one, and it's such a pretty napkin, and it is blue. So I think let's get it prepped so that if we want to use it, we can. Now this one, I don't think there's another layer, but we're gonna check just to be sure. Yeah, there definitely is not. Yeah, there's not. So good to go. Now sometimes it tears the napkin, but that's okay. So the way it goes. Now I had these first two were given to me in the giveaway challenge, but I had some of these in my stash. Both of these were given to me in Happy Mail, and then I had these that I had purchased. So let's go ahead and prep one of these. So I'm going to take one of the spare pieces that I have and put this down just to protect my mat a little bit. And I've got the paper on top of it here, as you can see. And then I'm just checking out how I want to line this up. And then I'm deciding if I want to use my decoupage or my glue stick. And I'm thinking, because I'm going to do so many, I'll use my decoupage, because then I can use a wider brush and it shouldn't take as long. So I'm going to use this brush. I frequently do use this brush. It's nice. It's not super wide, but it's just a nice texture. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to grab my Mod Podge. And actually, I need to refill this pretty soon. Let me take a look inside. Yeah, I need to refill it right now, actually. So let me grab my container. Some of you guys might know that the Mod Podge is not like super cheap, especially if you use a decent amount of it. So I went ahead and I bought the giant bottle because you know, when I was collaging, I was using a lot of it, and you know, I keep it sealed really good so it hasn't dried up. I am going to grab a few of these pieces off the edge here just so they don't end up inside of it. Don't want anything to fall in there. Yeah, so anyway, I go ahead and I refill this bottle here. Ooh. Looks like I need to stir it a little bit, so let me do that real quick. Let me go get a paint stirrer. If you choose to use a big bottle like this, I'll give you a little hint. I used to do nails. That's what I used to do a long time ago. And when you stir things, and particularly when we were working with the nail polish, it was always a rule to never shake the bottle, to simply roll it. So similar to this, I could have shaken this, but that gets air bubbles in it, and air bubbles will dry it. So if you just take and stir it, then you'll get some just by default, but you won't get as much, and as long as you keep it sealed tightly, your glue should last a long time. I've had this container for over a year, and it's still liquidy, just like brand new. All right, I think that's good enough. And look, I have one of my handy second layers that I can use so that I'm not making a big mess. I do enjoy using Mod Podge. I like the texture that it creates when you put the napkin down on it, but I'll give you a couple of hints in case you're new to it. Don't use it heavy. If you use it heavy, you're going to end up with a sticky mess, and that's a mistake that a lot of people make when they first start using it. So just use it real thin. Like you'll see here, I'm using it real thin. Now when you use it real thin, it dries real quick. So you only do like an inch or so at a time, and then put your napkin down, or paper, whatever it is that you're using. I'm going to flip this over because I got a little on the napkin and I don't want it to soak through. There we go. So if you do an inch at a time, you don't have to worry about your Mod Podge drying out, and it enables you to use it real thin, so when it dries it's not going to be sticky. And that is a real important thing, because if your project is sticky, it will stick to itself, and it's hard to, you know, pages stick together and stuff like that, and you don't want that. You want your project to move around and, you know, be nice and look nice and not be a mess. And I know it seems like it takes a long time and it's very meticulous, and it is. So, you know, you just got to go with it. If you want good results, you have to make some sacrifices. I still think this is way faster though than if I were to use my glue stick on all of these pages. You know, if I was working on a smaller project, I would definitely use the glue stick, because glue stick works great with napkins. But I have a lot of these, so I don't really want to spend all day doing it. Sometimes you have to go down and check the corners. They're easy to miss. Another thing I want to mention, a lot of you, if you follow me, have heard me say it plenty of times, but if you're new, some people get really worried about the wrinkles, but I don't. I don't think it's a problem if my napkins have wrinkles, because I think it adds a lot of texture and character. So sometimes I intentionally put the wrinkles in. So I'm just sharing that because you don't have to feel like you have to have a wrinkle-free napkin. It's just not important. And certainly don't be afraid to use napkins if if that's one of your concerns. Just dive in and do it and enjoy it, and then enjoy the results no matter how they come out. All right, so that one, whoops, is done. We're going to move it out of the way and let it dry, and then we'll come back and cut it to size. I thought on this one we might do a little collaging. So I have this digital kit that my friend Carol at Crafted by Carol made, and I thought we would just do a very simple collage and add some of it to the opposite side of the scrapbook paper. While I decide what else I'm putting on here, we're going to let that dry. And now we're going to go ahead, it's not quite dry, but it's probably dry enough. So now I'm going to go ahead and tear away. Perfect. Okay. We'll worry about tearing this away later. I'm just more concerned with getting the next piece on, which could be this one with the flowers. Is that too interesting, or should I have it be this one? Kind of like it this one. Yeah, okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to, actually I could cut that. Put a little bend in it there so I know where I want to cut it. Just pop it in my paper cutter. And this piece we can reserve for later. And this will be the one that we work with. All right, once that dries, I'll cut it all back into shape. We're going to let that dry, and then when that dries off, I'll peel it back and see what we've got. Okay, friends, I believe everything should be dry, so let's go ahead and peel away the extras. We can peel them, we can cut them. Whatever seems to be working is what we'll do. So this one's pretty flat, so I'm thinking I'll just go around this one and cut it. All right, so I think since this is just one piece, there's no layers or anything, we're gonna go around, we're flipping it over, we're gonna go around it and just trim it. And then once we're done with the trimming, we'll check the corners, because sometimes we don't always get enough either glue or decoupage or whatever we're using to adhere it. It's easy to not be able to get into those corners all the way. But we'll cut them all first, get that part of it done, then we'll check them. And then if there's any loose napkin, we'll go ahead and just use glue stick to finish up gluing them down. They're a little, some of them are a little curled from getting wet with the decoupage. So if you're concerned about that, just take them, the ones that you're not working on, take them and put them under a book. Obviously, once they're completely dry, and these are, but anyway, you can put them right under a book and that'll handle that problem for you. All right, so here is the front, and here is the back. I am going to do that to the rest of them, you guys, and let me try tearing. Let me see if that is, well, it's definitely faster. Oops, see, now it tore my paper a little bit, so tearing can be good. I guess we just have to be careful about it, right? I'm surprised it tore the paper there. That's interesting. I wonder if there was already like a tear started in the paper, because I think that's pretty unusual. This bottom piece I can't really get a very good hold of, so it's probably not going to tear great, but I can, if there's any pieces dangling, I can just hit that with the scissors. I think this is still faster. We'll fix that when we go through with the glue stick, just checking the corners and everything. There's a little piece here that tore off, but we don't care about that because we're gonna, by the time you put pockets and tags and all that, that might not even show, but if it does, we'll just color it in. You know, it's just not a problem, so I don't want you to worry about anything like that. right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish these up, and then I'll get back with you and we will continue on. All right, my friends, let me show you what we've got on each side of each page. I think this came together really well. I wasn't sure how it was gonna be, but I really do like it. Oh, I guess I should look at it like this. I still like it. And there's our mermaid. This turned out great too, didn't it? I think that turned out great. And so when the page bends, we'll still have our flamingo on one side. This one's pretty simple but nice. Again, simple but nice, yeah, and here's the backs. This one and this one. And then last but not least is this one. So now we're going to go through, we're going to check each one for basically imperfections. Anywhere that I didn't spread the glue properly, anything like that. I do see right up here in this corner we have a little bit of napkin flapping around. I'm going to glue down what I can and then pull off the rest, and I'll hit that with some ink before we start working on it. That one looks great now. This one we'll just hit with ink up here. Oh yeah, this was the one that had a little bit of a tear. Let me get a little bit of glue back there on this one. Put that back together. And then I'll probably use something, maybe some fabric right there, and flap it over each side just to make sure there's not going to be any problems in the future. But otherwise, it looks like we glued everything else pretty darn good. This up here is where the napkin turned white. So what I'm thinking about doing with that is hitting it with some paint before we do anything else with it. This part here, this is not, it's glued down, that's not a problem. It's where we tore the page. I might leave it like that. It looks real rustic. I like that. Or I might slap a little ink or paint on those areas too. Maybe some ink will look nice and pretty natural. This is all glued down, no problems here. And here's the back. I think you saw that. And then here's this page with the ship. We'll do some inking up here. And then there's the other side, and that looks fine. Okay, well that went quickly. Let me go grab my inks. All right, friends, now we're going to go through each one and see how, or if we want to ink it. I've got some pink here. On this one, I have got some nice minty seafoam green. I have this one, which is a very dark, sort of between purple and blue, so we'll leave that out. I have peach. It could like work on something like that, so we'll leave that out just in case. And we'll put the rest over here. And then I have some color wash tint. We can experiment with that. And then I have purple. I don't have any blue. The closest I have is this. So this is what we're working with. I have these under some jars just to hold the corners down because they do want to curl a little bit. Now this, I can see that there was glue on here. It probably dried before I got the napkin down, so I don't think the ink is going to stick to that. But you know what? Let's experiment real quick and just see if it will. We'll use a small brush so that nothing gets too wet. Let me pick a brush that doesn't look like it's been destroyed. Let's try this one. This is sort of a bluish gold. So we're just going to dip a little on there. Let's see what happens. Oh, actually, it's quite nice. Okay. If it ends up drying, I wasn't sure it would take to the glue, but it is. So let's go down the edge here. Yeah, I like that. I think that looks really pretty. So we are going to set that aside and let that dry. Oh yeah, so this whole top here I would like to add some color to, and if it bleeds into the other part of the napkin, I am perfectly happy about that. We are going to go ahead and ink the ones that we want to add a little ink to. So I'm just going to go up here on the edge, and yes, I had added this stuff already, but we're just adding, you know, just a little more color. I don't think there's any harm in that. The color matches almost identically, so that's pretty funny. You can't really tell that I'm doing it, but I'm doing it, so there's that. So we had some of the color seep through, which I'm not worried about. Oh yeah, that was on the, remember when we did the top here? Not too worried about it, and as a matter of fact, what I might do is make it look intentional. So we're gonna go ahead and add some to this page. So we're gonna add a little to the corner here, go across the top, add some down here, fill in the corner. Sort of do it like that. There we go. Now it looks like we totally meant to do that. Such a pretty color. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, we're going to need to let this one dry. So we will move on to this one and grab our ink pad here. Right, I think that looks great. Let's check the back. Oh yeah, it looks perfectly fine. Let's get the top on our stuff there. Okay, so all the pieces are done except for this one. We wanted to give this a minute to dry on this side. I love it. It's even got sparkles in it. It's so pretty. So I think while I've got it down here, I might go ahead and try to add a little bit of this. And actually, let me put this underneath of it. Okay, whoops, there we go. Since this ink is lighter than the photo, I'm putting it on there and it's sort of lightening the edges, which I like. It's blending everything, which I think is really nice. All right, I think I like it. I think I'm comfortable with it. Yeah, I think that looks really pretty. It's so much softer now and I really, really like it. Okay. That's a vintage print. That's where that came from. It was kept in a frame and it was damaged, so I pulled it out of the frame and thought, you know what? I'll use it in a junk journal. Why not? Why not make good use of it? I had this. This was given to me in a Happy Mail, and so it's actually, I do believe this is was originally a 12 by 12. So what I thought we would do is just take this, instead of cutting it to fit, because I'd have to take about a ½ inch off each side, I think what we'll do is we'll just fold this like this, so we'll have something that has small side pockets, and I'll do that on both sides. This could work for a center spread, so you'd have the normal size page in the center spread, and then you'd have this over top of it just for some small tucks, and it could be really pretty. So let's go ahead and glue the edges. Whoops, that popped right open. So we are going to use our handy dandy clothespins to keep them closed while they dry. we'll set that aside. Let's see what else we have to work with here. Oh yeah, we had this, you guys. So let's see, if we recall correctly, the height of the journal is 7 inches. And this envelope is just a little bit bigger than 7 inches. So let's think this through. What could we do? Let's use our imaginations. Well, let me grab my cutter because I'm pretty sure I'm going to want that because I don't want that sticking out of the top, right? I do want to be able to access both ends. So let's start with just trimming off the end. Unless we would prefer to cut off the top and have everything go in and out of the top and keep this sealed. And we could always seal this. We could have this that it can open, or we could do the top. I mean, the top's going to come off anyway. Let's cut the top off and then let's see what happens with that. And we need to take it about 1 inch, so I'll take it just a little bit more than that and we'll see what that looks like. Alright, so if this is what we have, this could close if we want it to, and we probably do. It would fold like this. This is how it would be in the journal, and I just got an idea. Hold on. If we use this big circle punch, and we can use it like right here, then you'll be able to easily pull out the tag or the paper or whatever's in there. So let's see if we can do that. Sometimes when I use these punches, sometimes I do it from the bottom so I can actually see what I'm doing, because from up here there are lines that you can line up, and that does look, these lines look to be about halfway in case you wanted to do a halfway punch. Interesting. But I don't know, should we try? I don't want to mess this up, and I don't know if I want a full halfway. That's really big. Let's pop this in here and take a look and see what we can do. Yeah, see, like halfway is right here, and I'm actually having a hard time getting the envelope in that far on that side. This side won't be a problem. So, and I mean, I could do both of them, but I think we just want to do one side. I don't think we want to do both, although we could do both. If you did both, maybe we do both, and then you can see it from both sides. All right, let's do this. And we have to remember there's a seam here and then the end here, so we don't want to get all the way to the end. We have to keep the integrity intact. So, okay, this would be halfway, and we're almost right to the ends, and I think that makes it a little too flippy flappy. So I would prefer to come down here, maybe to, just to make sure it's straight, I can line it up with these two. So I'm holding the edges and I'm lined up. Now if I can just keep it there. Oops. All right, I'm getting it lined up again. All right, I think we're good to go. And all right, I think that looks great. Yeah, I like it. I like it. So that's where we'll do it the next time too. So again, we're lining it up with these two lines that are on the bottom of this giant punch. That just seems like a good measurement. It seems like it works nicely. All right, holding steady, and here we go. Let's see how we did, friends. All right, yeah, I like that a lot. So we're gonna go ahead and seal this. Where's my scissors? The scissors cover a lot more territory than my hand does, and it does a better job. Okay, all right, so we know we can put this in the journal. Okay, let's look and see. Oops, oops, oops. Making a mess with my inks here. See what else we can find. All right, remember we pulled these vintage papers because they're blue, and I think let's go ahead and try to use them. So they are 8.5 inches tall, so we're gonna have to trim them. Yeah, they sure are. So let's go ahead and grab a pencil or a pen. We're gonna do something in a blue so that, you know, it doesn't show up too much, just enough for us to see it. So if we're going to cut this down, well, we know we can take out this bottom here right underneath the building. So if I mark this right here, and I start that right at the white line, that gets us down to about 8 inches. So the 7-inch mark is right here, and this says, "May we introduce our home office account." So what if we even made it quite a bit smaller and just got rid of the small words and just home office account payment procedure? How about that? Let's look inside. Yeah, I think let's do that. So we're going to mark it just right in here in between. I think that'll work for that one. This one is the Federal Employee Group Life Insurance Program. So let's take off right about here so we can move this down. And we still need to get down to the 7, which is, whoops, right here. Ooh, we are just missing. Looks like it's just going to cut off that M, but let's see what happens if it's just a little bit taller. Maybe it won't be too bad. And then, yeah, this one doesn't even really matter. This is just fun. There's plenty of room on each end. So let's take off, let's do, if I do an inch on each end, that makes it plenty small enough. So, all right. Go ahead and cut those. I'd like to make at least 2 signatures for Susan. So, oh, actually, look, this is double-sided. We can pop these in. All we have to do on these is take off about an inch. So let's take off, I'm not even sure what that's supposed to be, but it's blue, so it works. I'm just going to eyeball about an inch here. Okay. Oh, and wait, didn't we take off some? Let's measure it. Oh no, that's not, we didn't take off too much of one of the ends. Just take off a little bit. Oops. Yeah, we cut it down a little. I can't remember how much we ended up taking it down, but not too much. All right, and then this one also has 2 sides. So let's do that. Get that one ready. Oh yeah, this will easily be a 2 signature journal. Okay. All right, I'm looking through the rest of the papers, and that is it for this. I think we'll use for pockets because it's like thick. It's like cardstock. So we use that for pockets and stuff. So that is it for regular paper, my friends. Let's go ahead and assemble this little thing here. I think the other pages are dry enough to do that. All right, let's go ahead and create the signatures of this journal. Let's start with just folding these pieces that are sort of large and in the way. All right, now let's get to the main pages that we worked on. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the most decorated pages so far. So let's, if we're going to do 2 signatures, let's do 3 pages 3 of these sorts of pages in each signature. So there we go for that. We got each pot. I didn't even look through to see which is which. So let's take a look and make sure we're spreading the color out fairly. This one's heavy in purple, and this one has more blue, but a little bit of purple. So let's get at least one of the blues over to this side. Let's switch it out with, this is tough. Let's go here. Is that more evenly? Yeah, I think that's more evenly done. Okay. And then, so these are our 2 signatures, but now we're going to infuse them with some of these items. So let's put this, oh, that's pretty, oh boy. So let's just say we're gonna work on this one first. And we have to choose our center signature. And that's kind of a nice center signature. So this could go here. So we could leave this truly as the center. Oh, I haven't folded this one yet. Let me do that. Okay. Now this could go here. That could go there. And this could go here. Or I'm feeling, let me see. No. I like this better here. And that's to say if it even stays in that one. Let's take a look at this one. Let's fold everything. Oops. And they don't have to be folded in this particular direction. They can be folded either way. It doesn't really matter, right? So I guess what I should do over here is choose the center signature. And I'm going to choose this as the center. So we're going to fold it this way. All right, so for this one, we're going to have this one be the center signature. And then I'm going to choose whichever page that I think looks nice next to it. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's do that. That's cool. And then we can choose this, which I really like. Or we can, no, I like this way better. Okay. Now we're still going to be putting other things in between, but if they're smaller and they show, then this like looks so nice next to each other. And so let's do the same thing real quick before we get ahead of ourselves with that. Let's choose our center signature. I think we chose this. Then let's decide what looks good next to each other. Oh, that's nice. Oh, let's do that for sure. And then what looks good here? It could either be this, which actually does look quite nice, or it could be, oh, that looks good too. Ooh, that's fun. That's a lot of fun right there. I think I like it because he's pink, he or she, and then there's some pink in here, and then there's this bright sort of red. You know, as much as I like this, this has more of a soothing look, but I think I really like that. Then over here it'll be these two together, which actually that looks pretty cool. Now if we went with the other side, what would we have? We'd have that, and then we'd have that. Oh, and that looks really pretty. All right, let's try it on for size again. This, which I love. But this is just, I don't know if I love that as much. It's just so much of the deep blue. And then if I do this, my eye for some reason, even though there's not even purple over here, my eye for some reason almost prefers this. Oh, this is tough, you guys, but maybe the brown and the brown. All right, this is what we're going with, and we're sticking to it, okay, my friends? So let's fold it into place here. Okay, there we go. Popping this in here. Okay, so these are our two signatures. Now that's super small signatures, right? But now we're going to go ahead and fill them. So now let's decide where this looks best. And that actually looks pretty darn good, but it, you know, covers that up. It would look fine in here. Ooh, that actually looks kind of nice. Oh, I kind of like that. Yeah, let's go ahead. So if we do this, then it's going to look like that. I like that. Yeah, okay. All right, so let me stick this under here. This one's pretty plain right now, but it doesn't mean it has to stay that way, but let's find a home for it. So it could go here, which it doesn't look bad because there's gold in here. That looks pretty nice. I don't like the way it breaks that up, so let's go ahead and pop it in here. All right, easy enough. Now we have these. Let's take a look. All right, so obviously this will get decorated. I'll put something over it, but I can do that once it's already in the journal. So let's open this up. Now this can go over top of this, so it can be 2 of these in a row, or we can put it in here and it doesn't cover up the whole design, so it still pulls the purple together. Ooh, I think I like that. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, there we go. So we did one here, so let's move this and let's choose one for over on this side. Let's go with this one. I feel like this is going to be more fun. And of course, one of them can go right in the front. So it could, I don't like that right there in the front, but I'm just saying it could have. I don't think I want it over our little guy there. It could go here, or it could go here. I don't want it in the center signature, right? I don't want that, because then it itself would be the center, and I don't necessarily want that, although that's not bad the way that this flips open. Actually, that's not really bad. That's kind of cool, actually. The other option is, all right, if we did it here, and we could, but then I sort of don't like covering our guy there. Let's, all right, I'm going to make a decision, but I'm thinking my decision might be right here. And then this can stick out a little further, so that looks kind of neat. All right, that's what we've got so far. Now, I think we need to decide about where we're putting these two. Each one of these is getting one. This one's going to be harder to place because of the look of it. So let's make a decision on this first. So, yeah, I don't really want to do that. I don't want it to be the center, so I wonder... And we don't have to use it if we don't like it. So I'm just thinking, I don't know that I do like it, actually. But I could like it if I work with it. You know what? Let's put it on the outside. I'm going to put it on the outside. Because I was just, as I was saying how much I didn't like that, I have all these that I can work with to sort of cover a lot of that with a nice big side pocket. So I don't have to worry about it if I don't like it, right? Okay, I'm just weighing it down with those. Actually, I'll just switch these. Okay, now that being said, let's look inside this one. The outside looks fine. The inside's just like a cloud, and I don't know what's going on there. So let's see. So it could go here, but no. And no, that's perfect the way it is. So let's do it again. Let's do it on the outside, and then we'll go ahead and just decorate it up once it's in there and make it work. Okay, so we had an odd number of those thingies, but maybe I save one for this, right? Let's save it for this. I'm gonna pop it in there. So if we have an odd number, we'll just leave it over there with that collection. All right, I think that's it for the pages, my friends, unless we wanted to add some of this in, but let's, okay, this is still being held together by this rope, string, whatever. Interesting. I don't know why that's catching, but okay. I'm going to try to gently pull these out of here. There we go. Let's get 2 of them and let's check it out. Okay. So let's see. Looks so stark next to everything. I don't know if I like the fact that it's just so boom, in my face, right? I mean, in all honesty, I could trim the bottom. I could pop these right here, and I could literally have another page of pure writing space, but it's just so not colorful. Let me peek through here. I could go next to these. I just don't like it, guys. I just don't like it. I don't know. I just don't like it. So if I don't like it, we're not using it. Well, what we'll end up doing is cutting these to size and using them in a pocket. And I think that'll be more palatable for me. So let's think about that. All right, well, we have our 2 signatures. We will continue this in the next video. Thanks for watching. See you soon.